Hello everybody and welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports, and on this beautiful sunny day it's time to do another mod on the Camaro, so let's get it done. Well everyone, I've been waiting for probably the last 3 days to get this package. This is our box from P3 Gauges. So this is our gauge that we're going to be putting in the Camaro. So let's open this thing up and see what they gave us. Okay, we got an install guide, some wiring, plugs, module, a P3 Gauges t-shirt, which is awesome, and we got our vent gauge here, and there it is. So we basically just got to take our old vent out and get this thing hooked up. Got some decals and some stickers in here as well. Perfect. Okay, we got everything kind of unboxed here. I've got a little card here that has all of our information as far as what we need for wiring. There is an auxiliary plug for like a boost sensor or something like that, which is these plugs here, the purple and black and yellow wire. Everything is pretty easy to understand. This card is pretty straightforward. We've got a couple of analog plugs on here, and we have the optional auto dimmer, which is our green wire. So we have our module. Basically, we're just going to plug in the module to the wiring harness, and then we have the vent gauge itself and the wiring that goes into that module as well. So we're going to hook all this up and remove the old vent out of the car and get ready for the new gauge vent. Okay. As per the instructions, they say to hook everything up, and then we're going to hook it up to our OBD2 port, which is just down here on the Camaro. And then we're going to start the car and make sure the functionality of the gauge, everything is working correctly before we install it. This nice protective film on the screen so it doesn't get scratched in shipping. Shows our coolant temperature at 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Got these easy to use buttons and everything like that. Shows your throttle percentage, everything. So basically with this gauge, we just kind of go through, make sure that everything is kind of showing what it's supposed to show, and that everything is going to be working fine when this thing is installed. So this is just basically a test run of the gauge, and everything seems to be working just fine. We're going to go ahead and remove our original vent and swap over the trim ring and get this thing installed. Okay, removal of this vent is pretty much you just kind of grab hold of the dash here, and it's just held in with clips, and you're able to get at the back side of this. Now basically there's just some plastic clips in here that hold this vent in place, and it pops out just like so. Actually just kind of get one started, get in behind the other, and it just kind of pops out. Now what we need to do is remove this trim piece and swap it over onto our new gauge vent. So as you can see on here, it is marked bottom and top, and then there's these little clips that kind of hold this trim ring in place, and just kind of very gently get underneath here to try to loosen this guy up. From what I understand, they might be selling the gauge with this ring already installed, so you don't have to swap it over from your old vent. But being that this is a prototype model, this is only the second one they've ever built. The first one was for Guitarmageddon ZL1. So I was lucky enough to be the second one to review this product. So we have to go ahead and swap this one over. Okay, for removal of this trim ring, basically there's just these little tabs here, and there's a barb that kind of sticks in there on the vent itself. And what you got to do is kind of just get underneath a couple of these just to apply a slight bit of pressure just by twisting a small screwdriver, and then you're able to kind of get another tool into the third one, and then once you've got 2 to 3 of them released, you can kind of just pop it off. So it does hold on pretty well until you've got that loosened up. But I mean, other than that, it's really not too hard to do. It just takes a little bit of ingenuity, and to hold it in a vise really helps too. So yeah, that's how to get that thing off. So we know it's going to sit in the car like this, with top being obviously on the top. And then we've got our trim ring, which has to fit according to how our dash is. So basically we have this piece facing to the inside. We kind of line up our tabs here and snap that into place. And there we go. We got our trim ring swapped over. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just unplug our gauge so we can feed our wiring through. Just going to put it right in there. All right, just like that, we got our gauge installed. Okay, I just wanted to show everybody kind of how I put this module and wiring together so it can be neatly tucked up underneath the dash. What I did is I just put a zip tie around, kind of wrap these wires around so they're nice and neat and out of the way. Got the data cable and everything, like the extra slack, taken up. And what I did is I put a zip tie through here, and I have another one this way. So what's going to happen is underneath this dash there are a bunch of plugs for the power distribution center, and what I can do is slide the module, this whole package, kind of up in front of that, and then I'm able to use this second zip tie and tie it to the mounting for this lower panel. So that kind of makes everything nice and neat, out of the way, and we don't have to worry about that falling down while we're driving. So as you can see, it pretty much looks like it was there from the factory. Even the LED is a white LED and matches the gauge cluster. And then we've got the red bar that also matches the needles. It looks very clean, very nice. And it utilizes a place where you're really not gonna miss what you're taking out as far as being able to turn that vent off. If you want to change your climate controls, you can still do so. The vent is still functional, so you have no issues whatsoever with that. And it's a very nice, professional, clean look, and definitely a must-have for any performance car, and especially the Camaro. Well, there it is, the P3 vent gauge installation on the 2017 Camaro SS. Definitely a big thanks to P3 Gauges. I will have all their information in the description, so definitely check them out. They make an awesome product, and I can't wait to try this thing out in the real world. So, if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and keep that hammer down.